Howdy, folks. Sepper here, aka Sean, and we are getting ready to start round 4 of the Event Horizon. So we've had 3 matches and we've had 3 winners, and now we've got the last team, or the excuse me, not the last team, but we've got the last match in the Nebula division before we go to I think it's the quarterfinals. Yeah, it'll be the quarterfinals. So our final 2 teams. I've got it written up here. We've got Team One Shot One Kill, which is the white team, and then we have Team Ghost Raven, which is the black team, or Team Black. Now, sometimes it's pretty easy for me to figure out what the team name is, and then other times it's not so easy. So what I do in this case, so for the white team, you'll kind of figure out why really quick, why I picked Team One Shot One Kill. But Team Black, I couldn't really figure out a team name, so sometimes what I'll do is I'll pull out the Rory Story cubes and just roll and see if anything pops out. So I got a Ghost and I got a Raven, so boom, Team Ghost Raven. So it's a random name, but Team One Shot One Kill is not a random name. So anyway, with all that being said, I'll go ahead and introduce to you Team One Shot One Kill. All right, so we got the team captain, who is Snookum. Got the star up there that shows that she's the team captain, and then we have the character that she chose was Jolie La Ravassan, and I'm sure I'm butchering that, but so Snookum chose the Charmer. So if you look at Jolie, she's got a lot of red stats, which are pretty bad, right? Like you want to try to avoid red stats, but then they usually make up for it. So she has an extremely high respect. So that's why this is the white team, because of the high respect. She's got the highest respect, I think, of any character. So, yep, her stats are bad, but she's got very high respect. And then if you look at her abilities here, this is kind of why these make up for all the red. So she has a mental abilities, or a mental ability, several of them actually. So enemies suffer -5 melee hit against Jolie and cannot op fire at her. So it's very hard to hit her. Another mental ability, free action, steal 1 card from each enemy man in her space. So if you look up in the corner here, so she's got the female symbol. So if there's a man in her space, then she can steal a card from them. So that's actually pretty good. So you don't want to engage this character. Number 1, it's going to be hard to hit her, and number 2, if you're in the space, then she can steal a card if you have one. And then her last mental ability is, on a hit attempt against Jolie, check luck. On a 3, the enemy switches sides and the attack fails. If the enemy is a man, the switch occurs on luck 3 or 4. So if you try to hit her and you fail on luck, then you go over to the white team. So you definitely don't want to mess with her. Let's look at the back of the cards. So actually, you don't need to see the back of Jolie's card, but there's the back of Snookum's card. So the reason she chose Jolie La Ravassan, the Charmer, is this kind of looks like a Disney character, and she has on here she wanted to be an actress in a Disney movie, so that's why I chose it. So we'll go and show you Snookum again, and then you can see that Jolie starts with 3 cards. So let's see what she drew. So she got a common, a secret, and an elite card. So I think this is, okay, that's the common card. So the common card is this melee weapon, which she's probably not going to be able to do much with that. Her melee is terrible. So she has a melee of 1. So this card is almost useless to her. So she is going to look to either trade this. We can put it in the vault, or we can always take it to Lith's lair and offer it as tribute. Or we can use it to try to break down the low gate on the black base. So just because you have a card that you can't immediately use, there's still uses for it. So there we go. We've got the injector melee weapon. All right, we've got an assault shotgun. So let's see here. Yeah, she can't use this either. So her point stat is pretty good. It's average. However, if you look at the strength and intellect requirements, she's not strong enough to use this card. So again, another gun or another weapon that she can't use. However, we can always use it for something else. And that was the secret card, I believe. Yep. And then the last card she has, she got a hunter, so she got the grizzly and a cub, which we saw the, what do I want to say? It was the black bear or the brown bear in the last game. So we've got another hunter. So she can, let me see, can she use that? Nope, she's not strong enough to use, actually she can, I'm sorry. So you see that the strength and intellect is 6 and 4. So she's smart enough, but she's not strong enough. However, this is a colonial card, and she's a colonial character. So colonial characters can ignore the requirements if the card that they're trying to use is colonial. So she can use the grizzly and cub. So that might come in handy. All right, we'll see who we got next. All right, next up is Shrimp, and he chose Ironhead McCray, the boxer. So Ironhead McCray, he has a natural melee attack suffer -1 damage rating against Ironhead. So that's why he's called Ironhead, right? Because he doesn't take as much damage. So he is a modern character. And you can see his stats. He's got really good melee. He's got really good damage, really good strength, and he's also got really good respect. So, you know, as a boxer, yep, he's not going to be good with the shooting weapons, but if you go toe-to-toe with him, you're probably not going to do well. And then we'll look at Shrimp's little bio. So, there you go. That is Shrimp, and he chose Ironhead. Next, we have Jelly Bean, and she chose Annie Oakley, the trick shot. So Annie Oakley is a colonial character. Melee stats are not too good, but as you would expect, because Annie Oakley was a real person in real life, she is very good with weapons, ranged weapons, so guns. And then she has a good honor and a good respect. So here's her special ability. So during op fire with aim and point weapons can accept a -2 penalty and gain +1 damage. Make this decision before each hit. And she can +1 op fire with aim and point weapons. So basically what that means, let's see, we'll look at, so this is the shotgun that Snookum has with Jolie La Ravissant. So if we look at this card here, this is the op fire value. So basically in the op fire phase, if you have the shotgun, you can fire at one person during the op fire phase. But Annie Oakley allows you to fire at an additional person. Now you can only op fire at a character one time, but if a second character moves into your op fire range, then you can fire at that second character. So that's what Annie Oakley can do. Let's look at Jelly Bean, the back of her card. So Annie Oakley's nickname is the Trick Shot, and Jelly Bean would like to secretly meet Wayne Gretzky, who was an excellent hockey player. So they took trick shots, right? So that's why she chose Annie Oakley, and Annie Oakley comes with one card. Let's see what Annie Oakley has. So we have a common card. Does Annie Oakley have a gun? That's what she really needs. She really would like a gun. So we've seen this card in past games. So the Friction Field Generator provides +4 armor against powder, long, and auto rifles, pistols, and revolver weapons. So that's kind of good. I mean, it'll give her good armor against people shooting guns at her. But we really want to get guns in Annie Oakley's hands. So Jolie had a couple of guns, so we'd like to try to get those to Annie Oakley. Actually, she had one gun. She had that assault shotgun. All right, so there we go, Jelly Bean and Annie Oakley. Next up, we have Poik, and he chose Zara Kale, the Big Game Hunter. So, Zara Kale, the Big Game Hunter, she is a future character. Oops. Sorry about that. So, we look at her special abilities. with all aim weapons, gain +2 hit and +1 damage against creatures, and increase the range by 4. So you can see her range score is extremely high. The rest of her stats are pretty much average, except her respect, which is pretty high as well. So here we have, so we saw Annie Oakley already. Annie Oakley had very high aim and point ratings, and Zara has a very high aim rating. So can you kind of see why we want to get guns into their hands? So, and then I think, yeah, there's even one more character on the one-shot, one-kill team that's very good with aim weapons. So we'll look at Poik's little bio. So the reason he chose the big game hunter is he wants to try, his secret fantasy is to travel around the world in 80 days. And big game hunters travel around the world all the time, trying to hunt that big game in different countries and continents. So that's why he chose Zara Kale, the big game hunter. And she also starts with 2 cards. Let's see. So we have a secret and a common card. Let's see what we have. Common card. Look at that. We have a sentinel, which is called this sniper. So basically you set this thing up and it just sits in one spot and shoots anything that comes within range, because you can see it has no movement. So here we go. This is another reason we've got team one shot, one kill. We've got a sniper sentinel. Let's see, can she use it? Yes, she meets the strength and intellect requirements. So very good. We've got the sniper sentinel. And then we also have night vision goggles. With ranged attacks, targets gain no stealth bonuses from treasure or special abilities. Also, targets in sight gain 1 less stealth bonus for terrain that affects the shot. For example, woods provide only a +1 stealth bonus, so these are actually really good with Zara Kale. The only problem with Zara is we need to get a gun in her hands. And if you can see her little symbols down here, she's very good with scoped rifles, and that other one is energy rifles. So if we can get any of those weapons in her hands, she is going to be very good. All right, next up we have Bread, and Bread chose Odessa of Omri, the aristocrat. So Odessa is a future character, and you can see that most of her stats are pretty crummy, except for her respect. But then this is what makes her really good. Look at her abilities. Free action, draw 1 common or secret card usable every turn. So she's getting a card every turn, and cards are key in this game. But one of the bad things, or some of the bad stuff about her, she cannot end move in an allied character's space unless that ally is a lord or icon. So luckily for her, or luckily for this particular setup, so this is the icon symbol, and the Lord symbol. So the Lord symbol looks like that. This guy's actually on the black team though, so it doesn't really matter. But luckily for us, Annie Oakley is an icon. Jolie La Ravasant is an icon, and Ironhead McCrae is an icon. So she can still end in the same space as any one of those 3 people on the team. But also, she is not allowed to. She has a lot of cards. She starts with 6 cards, but she is not allowed to trade. So that kind of stinks. I also had to verify something real quick. So this no trade means that she also cannot use the vault. So she's got some really good cards. Unfortunately, I was hoping that I would be able to put some of these in the vault so other characters could get them, but I cannot do that. So she starts with a secret, 3 elite, and 2 henchmen. So here is the secret card. So it is a Lith achievement. So there you go. I'll let you read that. If the owner has 1 melee card, 1 ranged card, and 1 creature card, he can discard all 3 cards, then draw 4 elites, then draw 4 common cards to the vault. So the chances of her being able to do this are actually pretty good. So let's see. We might even have, I haven't even looked to see if she's got this already. So we need a melee card. Nope. We have a ranged weapon card. In fact, we have 3 ranged weapon cards. And then a creature card. She does not have a creature card. But she'll be able to draw 1 card every turn. So this one is really good, and she'll be able to draw 4 cards and put them in the vault. I was hoping she'd be able to give some of these guns away, because just about everybody on the team is good with guns, but unfortunately she cannot do that. Her range stat is 5, which is not bad, so she'll still be able to somewhat use these. So she got this buffalo gun, which Aramis, which is the only character that I haven't shown you yet, the Aramis could use this one really good. She got a cannon, and then she got this Winchester rifle, which I would love to be able to get this Winchester into the hands of Zara or Annie Oakley. Sadly, can't do that. And then she got these 2 henchmen, which she'll be able to, she'll probably keep one as a bodyguard, and then I think the other one we will send out to do things. So we got this French footman, which has some good range. And then we've also got this Merc sniper, again, along with the theme, 1 shot, 1 kill. And all the stuff was random, so it just, I like the way things kind of work out sometimes. So, and then we got this sniper. So there you go. We've got Odessa Omri. Oh, let's look at the back of Bread's card. All right, so his secret fantasy is to become independently wealthy, and he's a twin. So we have Odessa, who is an aristocrat, wealthy, right? And the interesting thing, and I'll show you this, this is just a little preview of Team Black. Team Black drew this character. So this character is actually the sister of Odessa. So we have got Odessa and Onra of Omri. So I'm going to pretend that they're twins. I don't know if on the back of the card their bio says that they're twins, but they are definitely sisters. So he is also a twin. So the twin happens to be on the other team. Oops, that moved wrong. All right, so there you have it, Bread and Odessa. And last but not least, we have the Red Tomato, and he chose Aramis, the romantic. And if you can recall, Aramis was one of the 3 musketeers. So Aramis is a colonial character. He's got some very good stats, right? Lots of blue there. But here's the drawbacks. He cannot op fire at women, children, and lords. Must always choose to imprison such enemies. In melee, wits is treated as 0, so he's kind of like, you know, he's the honorable fighter. He'll let somebody else attack first. He won't fire at, op fire at women, children, and lords, while the other team happens to have 1, 2, 3, has 3 women, and has 1 lord. So of the 4 opponents on the other team, he cannot op fire at 4 of them. That means he can still shoot at them, but just not in the op fire phase. So there you go, Aramis. Aramis is good with blade weapons, and he is also good with powder rifles. So we need to get some of those weapons into his hands. And if you see here, he does not start with any cards. And let's look at the back of Red Tomato's card. Let's see here. He's adventurous, and his personal motto is "C'est le temps de vivre." It's time to live. So that kind of sounds like something Aramis would say. So, and I know I butchered that French. But there we go. There is Red Tomato and Aramis. All right, let's see what is in the vault for the team 1 shot, 1 kill. So we have a common and a secret card. We have the surgeon kit, and we have a Lith achievement. So if the owner of this secret is killed, draw a new character and give that character a henchman. Place both at your headquarters. So this is one of those cards that, like, we find one of our people on our team that looks like they might be an easy pickings, and we get this card in their hand, and if team Ghost Raven decides to kill them, joke's on them. So there we go. We have team 1 shot, 1 kill, who is the white team. All right, let's take a real quick look at the map. So what I did is team 1 shot, 1 kill chose this platter. This platter was a random platter. Team Black or Ghost Raven chose this platter here, the blue one, and this was a random one. So what I did was I had team 1 shot, 1 kill built half the map, and they built first, and then Team Ghost Raven built the other half, and they decided how they built these two pieces. So they decided how it connected. So the idea that I had was Team One Shot One Kill has a lot of characters that are very good with range. They drew a lot of weapons, so I wanted lines of sight. So we've got this map with some elevated terrain, so we can get people perched up here, here, or here, and then they will be able to cover this, and then we've got long lines of sight across this. Now this is blocking terrain, this crashed satellite or whatever it is. However, if we get somebody here, he can shoot all the way down that edge. And then you can't see through domes. So unfortunately, this is not going to give you a line of sight down this way. But if we had somebody over here, we could basically get a pretty good long line of sight down that way. So there's long lines of sight. And then, of course, we have this high ground over here that if we get one of our shooters on, we'll be able to shoot. So that was the logic behind Team One Shot One Kill and why they built the way they did. And now we will go ahead and take a look at Team Ghost Raven, or the black team. All right, first we have Should He. This is our team captain. And he chose Zygoid, the plant creature. So let's see here. Let's look at Zygoid. Zygoid has a very strong power rating, so that means if he hits you, he's probably going to cause damage. Wits aren't too good. Respect and honor aren't very good. But let's see what we have. Single target ranged weapons suffer -1 damage rating against Zygoid, while area ranged weapons gain +1 damage rating. So area effect does way better against him. He is a plant creature, so that's probably why. He gains an additional +1 stealth when in woods or swamp. Let's look at the back of Should He. Why did he choose Zygoid, the plant creature? Yeah, he's an animal rights activist. He collects bats. So I figure, hey, he's for animal rights. He's probably a vegan. That's why he picked the plant dude. All right, let's see. So Zygoid starts with 2 cards. We have a henchman and a common card. So the common card is a mount. So he should have no problem. Yep, it looks like our plant creature can ride this mount if he wants. So plants riding horses makes perfect sense. Well, in the event horizon, it does. And here's our henchman. We've got the pugnacious New Orleans dude. There we go. So Zygoid's got some pretty good cards to start with. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like he can use them all. So that won't be an issue. Next up is Ketchabob, and he chose Henry Kirk, the family man. You know, with a pair of glasses like that, he looks kind of like a family man. He was a hipster before hipsters were hip. All right, so Henry Kirk has got he's got a good throw stat, and he's got a good intellect, and he's got a good honor. He is immune to any mental abilities that Kirk wishes, immune to side switching. So if you remember, Team One Shot One Kill had this character right here who can make people switch sides. Well, Henry Kirk will be immune to that. So this guy might be able to go beat up on this girl here. So Jolie definitely needs to watch out for Henry Kirk. That's the counter. He can move through but not remain in deep water at a move cost of 2. Now let's look at Ketchabob's little bio on the back. So Henry Kirk, it looks like, I think this is a boat that he's in. He likes to go through deep water, Ketchabob, fish. Yes, lots of fish. Don't even ask me why, but all right. So that's why he chose Henry Kirk, the family man. And Henry Kirk starts with 1 card, a secret card, and let's see what he got. He got this Fiji War Club, which is okay. It's a little bit better than what he's already got. So his natural melee is a 2 power and 2 damage, while the War Club is a 6 power and 2 damage. So definitely has more power to it. So there you go, Henry Kirk and Ketchabob. Next up, we have Crackers, and she chose Spartacus, the Gladiator. So as you can imagine, Spartacus, he's a fighter. He's good in hand-to-hand combat, so his wits are very high. His melee is very high. Power is pretty good for just his natural melee attack, and he's very strong. He can use 2 melee cards in the same melee as 2 separate attacks against the same or different targets. The natural melee attack cannot be used this way. So we need to get like that Fiji War Club that Ketchabob has. If we could get that and another melee card into Spartacus's hands, then he'd be pretty nasty. All right, let's look at Crackers' card, or the back of her card. All right, there we go. She just chose Spartacus because he was pretty strong, I think. That's why. So anyway, there we go. Crackers and Spartacus. All right, next up we have Hux and Jenny McGiddy, the crafty peasant. So it looks like we got a housewife type thing going on, maybe. I don't know. Jenny McGiddy is she has a very high wits. Everything else is just average. If an enemy fops a melee attempt against Jenny, he hits himself. He must make a damage challenge against his own armor rating. Her mental ability is on melee hit attempts against Jenny. Jenny adds her wits to her react, and the attacker adds his wits to his melee. So she has very high wits and her react. So she's looking at a 14 right there base. All right, once per game on any challenge can use wits rating instead of the normal rating. So that's actually pretty good because she has a very high wits. Let's look at the back of Hux. Oh, crafty peasant, prep cook. So that's why she chose Jenny McGiddy, the crafty peasant. And Jenny McGiddy starts out with 1 card. So let's see what her 1 secret card is. So we've got Megalomania and Meekness. So we take this to Lith's Chamber and we do it. So she has an honor, or the challenge is a 5 honor. She has a 4 honor. So this one, she might want to trade this card. But it's got some pretty good benefits if you can successfully pass it. So anyway, there we go. We have Hux and Jenny McGiddy. Next up, we have Squirt with Onra of Omri. Remember, her sister, Onra's sister, is on Team One Shot, One Kill, and that would be Odessa of Omri. So it's going to be interesting, a little bit of sibling rivalry here, maybe. So we can see here that Onra also has some pretty dismal stats, just like her sister, but she's got that 1 blue one, which is a good high wits. At the start of melee, if Onra and her henchmen are in the same space as a lone enemy character, can make a wits versus wits challenge. Amaze equals enemy is imprisoned. Fop equals Onra is imprisoned. She cannot give cards in trade unless she is given an equal number of cards in return. And you can see that she has a lot of cards. She starts out with 5 cards. So let's look at Squirt's back of her card really quick before we go to see what Onra has. All right. So Onra, she's a schemer, and she was the homecoming queen. That's why she picked Onra, because these are these sisters, and there's one other sister in the game that just didn't show up, but these sisters they're like the daughters of important people. So homecoming queen, that's why she picked Onra of Omri. Let's see what she's got. Let's see what kind of loot she has. All right, so we have the Renewal Cube. We have a mount, which mounts always come in handy as long as there's very few characters that have a speed of that high. I think there's 1 character in the game, and that was Atalanta, which we saw last game. I think has a speed of 8. So, oops, that's too bad. She is not strong enough So it requires a strength of 4, and her strength is 3. So she can't use that Persian skirmisher. However, she might be able to trade that to somebody. We've got this spear, which she can't use, but we can get that into the hands of Spartacus. We can really, he can wreak some havoc with that thing. She's got this glass blade, which unfortunately she can't use either because it requires a 7 intellect. She's only got a 6. So again, this might be good Spartacus material. And then lastly, we have this henchman. So the henchman is definitely going to be somebody that stays with her. And of course, Anra, if you look there, she has no card limit, so she can hold as many cards as she wants. So there we go. We have Squirt with Anra of Amri. And last, we have Smiley. She chose Miranda Fade, the escape artist. They look very much alike. That might be one of the reasons that Smiley chose Miranda. So Miranda has a high wits, good stealth, good intellect. She is a modern character. When Miranda is killed and before the decision to imprison is made, check luck on a 5 to 9. The attack does not harm Miranda in any way, and she is immediately dismissed. A K card is still lost as if she were killed, so that's pretty good on her point, on her part anyway. Allied characters within 4 aura of Miranda gain the same benefit as above, but on a 7 to 9 only. So that's actually pretty good. Let's see what Smiley has here. Oh, there we go. So Smiley looks like Miranda, but Miranda's the escape artist. Robin Banks. That's probably why she chose Miranda Fade. So Miranda starts with 1 card. Let's see what that 1 card is. It's a secret card. So we've seen this card, I think, twice. So we've seen this card in 3 out of the 4 games that I've played. So we've got Tamura's Favor. This benefit is not immediately useful because the other team has to have more characters for this part to work, but this part will work because we have the same symbol here. These are gadgets. So she gets +2 to her wits, so that gives her an 11 wits, and that is, she's going to be a very witty character, so there will be instances where this will actually benefit her. So there you go. That is Team Ghost Raven. So Team Ghost Raven strategy, seeing what Team one shot one kill has. We've got a lot of shooters on Team 1 shot 1 kill, so we have a lot of terrain over here, and it seems like most of Team Ghost Raven has very high wits characters and a lot of melee stuff. So this is going to be a little bit tougher for, team than it is going to be for Team 1 shot 1 kill. But you never know what's going to happen. Anything can happen. So Team Ghost Raven looks like they definitely have their work cut out for them. So we will see you in the next installment of the Event Horizon.